It's about 7 p.m. in the evening, and this is all of the information and the updates that's happened today in Delhi around the CJP protests on information that we've been able to verify through the day. Of course, this story is moving. As we continue to record it, we'll bring you more and more updates. But effectively today, to begin the day, thousands of Delhi police personnel along with paramilitary forces were deployed across the city. Multiple layers of barricades were erected on the roads leading to Parliament. Security was doubled in the New Delhi district. Additional companies of paramilitary force were brought in. Several companies were kept in reserve. Delhi police personnel and several adjoining districts were deployed at key junctions, sensitive locations. They were actually visuals from inside Parliament of armed police pointing their guns at the doors of or the gates of Parliament, waiting for just in case any protester breached that barricade. And as you know, the CJP had promised that they would start marching to Parliament at 9 o'clock, and it really hit a crescendo around 9 o'clock. There was chaos in the metro stations in Delhi. Delhi Metro Rail Corporation closed 5 stations in central Delhi because of that protest. At Rajiv Chowk, one of the city's busiest interchange stations, commuters were seen crowding near those exit gates because they were not allowed to come out of the station. At Patel Chowk, security personnel used force to disperse the people who were on their way to Jantar Mantar. Videos circulating on social media showed several passengers jumping over the barricades and the locked exit gates because they were shut. Protests took place inside the metro station as well. People started chanting Bharat Mata Ki Jai, Vande Mataram. Hundreds of people gathered, clapped and chanted patriotic slogans at Rajiv Chowk. There was mobile connectivity issues because internet was disrupted during the protest. Because there was, and this disruption impacted digital payments as well. So effectively, you know what happens when we are all so dependent on digital payments. You stop carrying cash into areas like this. You can't buy anything. You can't buy a bottle of water. You can't access anything. And also your internet is completely shut down. And this caused a huge inconvenience to everybody in that neighborhood. And then, of course, it happened as people approached Parliament Street around 11:30 this morning. Protesters attempted to push through the multiple barricades. And remember, the police had actually been welding these barricades together. So it was a metal wall per se. And these were not just barricades. And when people started pushing the barricades, the police started lathi charging. Around 10 to 15 protesters said to have been detained by sources at that time. Uniformed personnel along with officers in plain clothes in place in that area to maintain law and order began, of course, lathi charging the people, the protesters who were there. Remember, these protesters are mostly very young students. The New Delhi Deputy Commissioner of Police, Sachin Sharma, said not a single Delhi personnel used force on the protesters so far, and that was at 11:30. The Cockroach Janta Party criticized the internet disruption, calling it an unfair move that hindered communication among protesters. Some social media users and protesters claimed that mobile jammers were also used and they couldn't make phone calls. And then security forces used tear gas near Shastri Bhavan in Delhi as several protesters attempted to push through those security barricades in a bid to reach Jantar Mantar to join the march. Action came because of heightened tensions in that high security zone, according to the police and PTI. Several commuters were stranded inside neighborhood metro stations after access was restricted and station gates were closed. Now, there were other stories that came out. They were members of the CJP, including Abhishek Dipke, who said that Gitanjali ji, who is Sonam Wangchuk's wife, was manhandled by the police. The statement came from CJP chief spokesperson Saurav Das on Twitter, who said Gitanjali ji's hair was pulled by the Delhi police and she was assaulted. A 12-year-old girl's head was broken. 50 other heads were broken. CJP founder Abhishek Dipke also spoke on camera and said that Agmo had been assaulted by the police. The police then issued a counter, and they said they rejected allegations, maintaining that the claims that were being made on social media were incorrect and saying that they appealed to the public not to amplify these claims. The Delhi police on Monday said that Sonam Wangchuk's wife had not been assaulted by the police, and this was misleading information. CJP spokesperson Saurav Das also said at one point today that Abhishek Dipke had been picked up, he used the words picked up by the police and detained as the march intensified near Parliament. He later clarified that Dipke had not been kept in detention and was marching with the protesters. Deepke had ended his hunger strike early this morning on request from Sonam Wangchuk, who's in hospital. He drank juice apparently after Wangchuk's wife announced that the Jantar Mantar stage of the protest, and Wangchuk urged Deepke to break his fast. Now, several protesters were detained or removed from multiple locations in New Delhi. Forces stepped up action to apparently prevent demonstrators from reaching Parliament. And this is according to a report by PTI. The detentions were also made at Mandi House, at Patel Chowk, at Janpat, at Jantar Mantar, at Parliament Street and other locations. At least 7 people were detained near the RBI, which is close to Parliament. Those detained were taken to different locations across the national capital away from the protest site to prevent regrouping and disrupting law and order. They will be released with warnings, the police have said. Now, central Delhi also turned into a traffic choke point today around 12:30. Google Maps showed that there were several road closures, several diversions that had been marked around Jantar Mantar. Roads including Sansad Marg, Janpat, Toy Road, Jantar Mantar Road and Jaising Marg were marked as closed and traffic was diverted. This was also earlier today, Geetanjali Hagmo had approached the Delhi High Court for a second time and she had appealed against a single judge order that they got yesterday, saying that they cannot transfer Sonam Wangchuk out of Safdarjung Hospital. The petition was listed for today. It was heard. It will also be heard tomorrow. There's no order in that petition just yet. In the meantime, CJP spokespeople met with Union Minister JP Nadda and they placed before him a letter of their demands. Apparently, Ashutosh Rankar Saurabh Das waited for more than 2 hours for 10 minutes with JP Nadda this afternoon. And we remember about, I think it was 10:30 or 11 o'clock, or maybe a little earlier, they were asked to step aside because they were taken to JP Nadda's residence to meet him and they were made to wait for 2 hours there. So everyone in the protest was waiting for that response. They submitted a letter of their demands. Apparently, they had 3 demands. 1, Sonam Wangchuk to be released from Safdarjung Hospital. 2, Dharmendra Pradhan's resignation. And 3, 1 crore rupees compensation to every family where a young person has died because of the NEET exam cancellations. The second 2 have been their demands from the very beginning. Nadda apparently asked for time for the government to consult internally and give a response. Ashutosh Rankar and Saurabh Das said that they have raised the key demands again and they are waiting for that response. In the meantime, All India Students Association activists who have been fasting for 23 days also ended their fast today on an appeal from a delegation of opposition leaders. This is Neha, Manish and Amin, who have been on a hunger strike, ended their fast today. When a delegation of Rajya Sabha MP Manoj Jha and CPIM, CPIL MPs and General Secretaries met them and asked them to do so. Incidentally, people who came, members of Parliament who were in Parliament today because it was the first day of the monsoon session were not allowed to leave. Parliament gates were locked briefly on Monday as the protesters came towards Parliament and that crowd was swelling and there was a lathi charge and tear gas was used outside of Parliament. Security forces actually gated up Parliament completely and there were members of Parliament who were not allowed to leave who said that they were being held as well.
हम यहाँ वहाँ जाना चाह रहे थे, मैं वहाँ जाना चाह रही थी. मैंने सुना कि कॉकरोच जनता पार्टी वाले आए थे तो मैं जाना चाह रही थी. वहाँ पर गेट बंद कर दिया है और हमें भी बाहर जाने नहीं दे रहे हैं. बोल रहे हैं लॉक है कि वहाँ प्रोटेस्ट है, आप जा नहीं सकते हैं. तो हम क्या यहाँ कैदी हैं पार्लियामेंट के अंदर? पता नहीं क्या हो रहा है.
During that session, Congress President Mallikarjun Kharge condemned the lathi charge against the protesters at Parliament and he said this is an issue concerning the future of lakhs of students. I'm speaking on their behalf. Thousands of student protesters gathered at Jantar Mantar, but there was a lathi charge against them. The government is attempting to beat them up and stifle dissent. Dharmendra Pradhan, the Union Minister of Education, met with Amit Shah, the Home Minister, today. And we don't know what was discussed in that meeting. We just know that the meeting happened. In the meantime, Sonam Wangchuk, in a handwritten appeal, initially said that he would give up his fast because the authorities have met the CJP spokespeople. But towards the end of the day, he changed his mind and said he's going to continue fasting given the way the students were treated by the police and the force that was used against them. In the meantime, in Mumbai, there were people who gathered as well in Mumbai to protest. And an order has been issued by the Deputy Commissioner of Police, Akbar Patan, in Mumbai that prohibits processions, use of loudspeakers, and amplified instruments. Now, this does not apply to weddings, funerals, and clubs and cooperative societies, but effectively, in the city of Mumbai, starting now until the 6th of August, there can't be a collection of people. It gives the police the right to basically clear out that, that gathering of people. So effectively, there can't be protests. Police has withdrawn that support. Hundreds have gathered in Nagpur as well in solidarity of what was happening in Delhi. We also had some protests in Gujarat, in Ahmedabad. I've received notification of protests in Berlin and protests in Toronto. And apparently, I'm assuming as the night goes on and more NRIs on the other side of the world wake up to realize what happened in Delhi, we might see more sort of reactions there as well. A lot of members of the opposition, including Rahul Gandhi, eventually he didn't speak during the day. Priyanka Gandhi spoke outside of parliament. He didn't, but he has put out a video on his social media handle condemning the police action against the students. There were some very disturbing bites that came out of students after the lathi charge, saying they could not understand why they were being lathi charged, because it's not like they were asking for something completely unjust. They're simply requesting justice, and they couldn't understand why the government was behaving in this manner and why the police were treating them like terrorists. But effectively, this is all of the information that we've been able to verify from today. And we'll continue to bring you the information as and when it happens. But this is what happened today at the CJP protest in Jantar Mantar demanding the resignation of the Education Minister, Dharmendra Pradhan.